Family and friends, welcome to the chapel here today, and if you are joining us via live stream, for a service to honour, remember and celebrate the life of Maud Hurrell. If you have a mobile phone, could you please switch it to silent or turn it off for the duration of our service? Thank you.
Whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong, whether I find a place in this world or never belong, I gotta be me, I gotta be me. What else can I be but what I am? I want to live, not merely survive. And I won't give up this dream of life that keeps me alive. I gotta be me, I gotta be me. The dream that I see makes me what I am. That faraway prize, a world of success, is waiting for me if I heed the call. I won't settle down, won't settle for less, as long as there's a chance that I can have it all. I'll go it alone, that's how it must be. I can't be right for somebody else if I'm not right for me. I gotta be free, I've gotta be free, daring to try to do it or die. I've gotta be me, I'll go it alone, that's how it must be. I can't be right for somebody else if I'm not right for me. I gotta be free, I just gotta be free, daring to try to do it or die. I gotta be me.
Welcome to you all. My name is Angela Newbound and I'm truly honoured to lead this service to celebrate and give thanks to the life of Maud Hurrell. We respectfully remember Maud, who passed peacefully into eternal sleep on the 20th of March 2023, aged a fantastic 100 years. She was a loved and loving wife to Albert, deceased, a loving mother to her 6 children, Lynette, Garth, Alan, Leslie, Philip and Sandra, and a kind mother-in-law to Jeffrey, Kath, Diane, Christine, Vicky, deceased, and Tony. She was a caring nana to 16 grandchildren and their partners, and a great-grandmother to many great-grandchildren. We welcome family who have travelled to be here today, particularly Lynette and Jeffrey from Yadunda, Garth and Kath from Clare, Alan and Diane from Victor Harbour, Philip from Western Australia, and Lily from Queensland. We acknowledge family and friends that are unable to be here in person, but join us via the live stream, especially Les and Christine in New Zealand. Although Maud's life journey has come to an end, what will survive is a mosaic of memories, inerasable and indelibly etched into your hearts. Today will allow you a little time to celebrate her life in the sort of straightforward, no-fuss approach she would have liked, but with mention of some events and milestones that occurred during her lifetime, which I invite Jeffrey to now share. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Maud Wyatt Hurrell, born in Queensland on the 30th of the 11th, 1922, passed away on the 20th of the 3rd, 23, in her sleep peacefully around 5:10 a.m. I was advised by phone at 5:20 and left messages with Les and Sandra advising the other brothers by 8 a.m. Maud was the mother of 6 children. I married the eldest daughter child, Lynette. When I first met Lynette's parents through a mutual friend of Maud and my mother, Maud and mutual friend had worked together in the war effort. Maud had put an advertisement in the paper looking for a son. Mutual friend seen the advert and made contact. We seemed comfortable prior to meeting Lynette. As the years grew and when Maud became a widow, we grew closer, and over the years we assisted and relied on each other when Maud needed help. She had been an independent lady but accepted help as required gracefully. In discussion of her life before I arrived on the scene, she had indicated that she had helped in the war effort, working in an ammunition factory which had been the old Holden factory where Bunnings are now on Port Road. Whilst married, they had travelled overseas more than once, had been an active member of Meals on Wheels in the kitchen for over 30 years, until mandatory police checks came into force. She felt uncomfortable, saying that if they did not know her by then, she declined further volunteer there. Maud had lived at Seaton, the family home, for 50 years before shifting to another. Whilst living in her unit at 83 Tapley's Hill Road, they had a communities activity which Maud had been in charge of outings and birthday parties of residents living in the complex, which there were 24 units, having a community share room for residents' use. She had done this for a number of years. Maud had lived there for over 20, celebrating her 80th, 90th, 95th birthday there, lived there until she was 98, before health put her into a nursing home. She had major health problems arise in her 95th to 97th year. Her interests were garden, paintings, handicraft, knitting and crochet. The milestones in her life were her married life, her children, her grandchildren, reaching 80, reaching 90, reaching 100. Unfortunately, the aches and pains occurred after 90. I have felt at ease and comfortable calling Maud Mum amongst family and friends. She was proud of her children, grandchildren. She wished to be called Nana to grandchildren. I have known Mum and the family for over 40 years. In closing, I'm referring to the painting of the 4 tents Mum painted showing how she had lived as a young child with her sister and parents in 1934 at Pomputa along the Murray River near Mannum in South Australia, which had many happy memories for Mum. Also, the verse in the card Mum penned in 2008-9 when she had been going through a rough period in her life. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey, for that oversight of Maud's life, quite remarkably different to the lives that we all live today, no doubt. Lynette has written a tribute that I have great pleasure in reading on her behalf. And this is by Lynette, what she can remember. When I was younger, I remember when I was in a bad mood with Dad and she was ironing, I was hit on the head with a metal jug. A few times Les used to trip himself and barm us kids. So one day we told her to look at him walking. Sure enough, he was tripping himself. So Mum had to have special shoes made for him. We had a few pet magpies. With myself and girlfriends, we would play with them, but they did not live long. Alan and his mates threw rocks at them and killed them, and as girls, we were not very happy with them. Mum taught me to knit when I was about 10 and to sew. One time when I started school the first day, at lunchtime I thought it was time to go home. When I got home, Mum said, "What are you doing here?" She made me go back. By the time I got there, it was time to come home. One time my girlfriends and I were playing with our dolls and my brothers decided to bury them. They also decided to dig a big tunnel so they can crawl through and nearly bury themselves. As a family, we went on holidays to the River Murray, staying at Pomputa and camped on a semi-trailer. We also camped in the Flinders Ranges and camped in a large tent. When I was about 9 years old, I stayed at Grandma and Grandpa's place at Port Lincoln in the school holidays. She made large fruit buns and sold them and made some small ones for me. And she also gave me some underwear. When we were young, we used to ride our bikes to Auntie Hazel's and down to the swamp at West Beach and to school at Woodville. One time Les thought he was doing something nice for Mum and brought home a watermelon which was growing in someone's paddock. She told him to put it back on the vine, and there was Les trying to put it back on the vine. Thank you, Lynette. They're great memories to share and certainly raised a few giggles, for sure. The next tribute that I've got pleasure in reading is one from Sandra. My memories of Mum. As a tiny girl, around 3 to 4 years old, everywhere we went, I hung on to Mum's little finger, till I think it must have felt like I broke it. I mostly remember this when we were on holidays at the Flinders Ranges. Mum was a Sunday school teacher at our local church. Unfortunately, I was in her class for a while and was a cheeky brat. Poor Mum, but she was very patient with me. It seems I was a very hyper child, so to quiet and calm me, she would sit me in front of her and brush my hair for ages. Oh, how I loved that, and I still do. I was a bit of a wanderer and remember Mum calling many times my name, Sandra, Sandra, to get me to come home. I didn't wander far. When I was a younger girl, to help me to get help with the dishes, she would try to bribe me with 20 cents, as I didn't care about money. She wasn't successful. When I was in my teens, we did do the dishes together, and we would sing a song and absolutely butcher it, as neither of us could sing. So we would play around with it. This song is called Home, Home on the Range. That was a fun and happy time. I'll move forward to the last couple of years now. I'd go and stay overnight and help her clear out stuff she no longer wanted. We played cards and Scrabble, listened to her music, watched her crappy TV shows on Foxtel, and tried unsuccessfully to write, record, and video her memories. We talked about family, and we laughed a lot. These and many more memories of us two will be with me till my journey is over. Good times, bad times, love, dislike, and somewhere in between. Love you, miss you, you're at rest now. What a life, 100 years. The story continues as I put all in our family tree. Love from your baby daughter, Sandra. Beautifully written, lovely memories to share. I have a written tribute here that has come from Kim and Cassie. Dear Nan, you're double trouble, mischievous duo. Thank you for teaching us and inspiring us to always have a laugh and to see the bright side of life. You are always with us. We are reminded of you every time we have our picture taken and poke out our tongues, dress up in crazy costumes and sing without a care in the world. Forever, your favourite two, Kim and Cassie. I think every grandchild thinks they're the favourite, but it's lovely that you do. Are there any other family members that would like to come forward and share some of the memories that they have? Thank you.
Hello, my name's Philip. I was once the good looking in the family, but age has crept up with me. But I just were thinking when I was young and the things that happened, and some of the things that really put our mum under stress. Like, I remember a time at Bow Hill when my brother was cleaning a rifle and he had like this around everywhere, and my mum goes off her dial. He said, "Oh, it's not loaded." Bang, through the roof. Well done, brother. And of course that was gaff back in those days. And then there was another time down Bow Hill again. I forget when, but I was pretty young, and this old derelict boat was sitting in the river, and I decided I'm going to take it out. I don't know how I got it out. And there's this whole bunch of adults along the river shore, "Get back in here," screaming their heads, and I'm thinking, what's your problem? You know, I didn't have a problem, but I got back in. But I just look at the things that our brothers, our sisters, that we did when we were young. We put mum through a hard time in different times. It was good times though. I went over to Western Australia when I turned 21, or around that time, and so I never really had much contact with the family. And Jeff, when you mentioned something about the son they were trying to find, that was me. I went missing for 10 months. Well, I wasn't missing, but I didn't contact home for about 10 months. But I got to say, I loved my mum. And we would talk on the phone probably monthly, maybe fortnightly. And I'd probably come over every couple of years, 3 or 4 years. I'd come and visit her, stay with her at a place in Hendon. But, I'm grateful for her. And, and for our family, for what, to me, making 100, that's pretty good. I mean, that's an innings that not many of us will make. And I know she was in aches and pains through that time. And I believe that she's gone to a better place, so. But I love my mum, and I'll leave that with you. Thanks.
Thank you. And I think it's fairly apparent that Maud was a fantastic mother to not only mother 6 children, but certainly to put up with the shenanigans that often happened. Are there any other family members that would like to come forward?
I guess listening to the shenanigans that were going on when my dad was young, I think that's where Nan she had a resilience to put up with us grandchildren. The shenanigans continued. There were many moments, I think, as we said, the mischievous too, and it was also my brother Scott and Cherie, Michelle and the twins. We certainly continued the shenanigans, and it must just be the Hurrell way. Even, was it not many months ago, we were talking and laughing with Nan about an incident in the kitchen, and the tomatoes on the ceiling fan, and Auntie Sandra's shaking her head. Cassie and I thought might be a little bit of fun to put some tomatoes on the ceiling fan. And Nan was cooking in the kitchen, as she always did, and we're like, Nan, it's really, really hot. You need to put the fan on. And I think she knew, because she was looking at us with that look on the face, like, I'm actually smarter than you. I know you're up to something. And so Nan came in and put the ceiling fans on. So I think that we continued the shenanigans. But the great thing with Nan is that unlike any other Nan, she would laugh along with us. We never got told off. She was so fun and easygoing and just let us be kids, and we'll always remember that. And we take that with us now. I mean, I think my brother got up to all sorts of mischief in Pop's shed and setting things on fire and trying to dig up the front yard because apparently there was a hidden bathtub from Dad's generation. So, yeah. We'll always remember all the fun times. So, yeah.
Love you, Nan.
Love you, Nan.
Thank you very much. Poor Maud. So after hearing all of those wonderful tributes, quite clearly, if we were to look through the whole world, there is no one like Maud. We'll now just take a moment to sit and quietly remember her in your own way and see some photographs capturing moments of her life. What an absolutely remarkable life. She seems to have been quite a character, so there is no doubt that a piece of that has been left in all of you by the sounds of things. And so thank you very much, Sandra, for taking the time to compile those photos and sharing those beautiful memories with us. Before we conclude this celebration of Maud's extraordinary life, I leave you with an excerpt from a book called Transitions by Julia Cameron. The one thing we cannot change is change itself. No moment, however perfect, can be maintained. Life moves on and moves us with it. We are all works in progress, all developing parts of a perfect plan. Only as we surrender to change can we find permanence and peace. Only by being open to the fierce flow of life can we find the steadying stream. The one thing that remains the same is that nothing remains the same. As we accept and acknowledge life's passing nature, we are free to cherish the moments that pass in bittersweet glory. No matter how difficult, life is beautiful. No matter how beautiful, life is difficult. Maud had penned some words that are written in the memorial cards you have received today. She acknowledges that while life can sometimes be difficult, that relationships can sometimes be complicated, and expressing words and feelings can sometimes be uneasy. The one thing that never changed was the love she had for all her children. It was strong and true. If you are able, please stand to farewell Maud. Maud Hurrell, 100 years. What an absolutely remarkable achievement, and what a phenomenal passing parade you must have been witness to. What a wonderful life you lived, and what an impact you made. We honour your journey through life and give thanks for all you contributed to this life and to the lives of others. Your passing reminds us that life is a gift, something precious to value and cherish. And so, with love, we shall leave you to return safely into the arms of Albert. With respect, we bid you a fond farewell. Please be seated. Time has stood still for just a moment as we have been recollecting with love, respect and affection the life of Maud. May the memories you have of her remain in your hearts. I now invite Melissa to close the service. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Angela, for leading us through our service today. Family and friends, this does now conclude our time in the chapel celebrating the life of Maud. On behalf of all of Maud's family, thank you so much for attending here today, and if you have joined us online, to support the family, as I'm sure you'll continue to do so in days to come. Following our time in the chapel, there is a warm invitation to join all of the family in the lounge for some tea and coffee and light refreshments and further time to share your memories of Maud. In a moment, I will invite immediate family forward to place a floral tribute on Maud's coffin as their way of saying their final farewell. And following immediate family, you're all invited to do the same, coming down the centre aisle of the chapel and exiting via my left side aisle to the lounge at the back. In the lounge, you will find the memorial book. If you have not had an opportunity to place your name, please do so, as it is a special memento for Maud's family. Family and friends, if you're now able, could you please be upstanding?
When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't